I want to make this video to the ones who feel like they don't fit in at all. The world is vast and strange, and yet in a large world we feel so alone sometimes. And I felt that way when entering university for the first time, and I still do now. Many guys my age want to join frats, parties. They want to live it up in university. They want to make a name for themselves right off the bat. They try to find the love of their life. They peak in university. But then there's me. I sit in the back corner of the classroom. I, stay away, quiet. And then when class ends, instead of going to the library with everyone, I go home to study and remain in isolation. I'm sure many can feel this way, and they do feel this way. They feel like they don't fit in at all. That every club they go to, they're just the odd one out. And then we get self-conscious sometimes. We feel like people are judging us, and we start to change ourselves. We start to change how we dress, how we look, how we speak. Our personality starts to shift. And maybe some of y'all are in the process of that right now. But I want to tell y'all something. Before you make this full commitment, I want you to stop for a second and listen to this real quick. I want to give you a little story of mine, and maybe it'll resonate with some of y'all. So just hear me out before you continue on your little quest to change yourself, to conform to how people want you to be. At my former church, I came into that church really broken. I was going through it, and basically I was like a clean slate. I was broken, I was hurt. But I still had anime and games. I still had things I collected like Pokemon. And it slowly came out as I started talking to the youth at that church what I was into, what I like to collect. And I noticed that every time I talked to them, they got a little bit like they gave me a weird look. Like, you collect that? Okay, that's weird. And eventually it just came out. They just finally told me one day, hey, you can't be collecting this stuff as a Christian. You can't be loving anime. You cannot be collecting these sort of games. Mind you, these games were just like Call of Duty. Or, for example, another game I collected around that time, like, it was Terraria. They basically were telling me, like, you can't be collecting this stuff. You're a Christian. You need to be set apart from the world, and that involves not playing any games, or you can't be listening to this type of music. Mind you, the music was Skillet, a Christian rock band, but they said they didn't like the way the lyrics sounded. And they started telling me that we need to build you up differently from how you were originally. And it got to the point where even when I was with my girlfriend, I told them about her, and I mentioned that she didn't know what she believed in at the time. And they literally stopped me right there and said, you need to leave her. You need to leave her because she's not a Christian. You need to go. Because she's going to cause you to stumble. She's going to cause you to mess up. She's going to drag you away from God. And it hurt me after that conversation. So I went to my room and I started preparing to just take everything down, to start preparing to give up on everything. And like I said, this was during a rough time. I was in therapy at the time. I was really going through it. I was alone. But all of a sudden my sister came in. She saw me taking my stuff down. And she stopped me. And I will never forget these words that she told me to this day. JC, I want you to know, never change. I don't want you to change. Not for anyone. Because I want to be honest with you. Had you not been in my life, or had you not been what you were into here, I would have never found out what anime was. I would have never found out what games were. I would have never understood Pokemon at all. But that's what makes you unique, and I would never trade it away for anything. I remember those words, and I want to pass those words on to you now. And I remember sitting there, and immediately I got up and said, no, I don't want to change for these people. I don't want to go ahead and be a cookie cutter Christian, someone who just conforms in the nice white top and the black slacks. Why do I want to become that? I want to be different. And I began to realize in that moment that God made us all unique and very different. And He made it to where we were all going to be different and not the same. And in that moment, I stopped throwing my stuff away. And I embraced what they called my weirdness. And I embraced my hobbies. Later, I left that church. Just a lot more issues with it. And from there, pretty much, I continued to collect. I continued to grow my collection. All because I did not want to fit in with the world no more. Why do I tell you all this? I want to tell you to not conform at all to the environment around you, but be weird. What do I mean by being weird? Be the one who sticks out from the crowd. Be the one who others can immediately recognize you and say, hey, it's that guy. He's the guy who collects that stuff. Or, hey, he's the guy who watches that stuff, who watches that anime, or collects that Godzilla stuff, or plays that game. Be that person. But I know what some of y'all are thinking right now. What if I'm bullied for it or made fun of? Those who bully you or make fun of you for it, ignore them and get them out of your life. Why do I say that so intensely? Because I want you to know there will always be people who will hate on you. And in this day and age, it will continue and it will get worse. But do not conform to them, because they see what you have and they wish they could be that way too. Because I want you to know something right now in this moment. You being yourself, who cares what someone else thinks? Who cares what other people think? Will you remember their name? I'll give you this idea. When I was in high school and I started falling in love with anime, I remember I was getting bullied relentlessly for it. I remember I was getting absolutely trashed for loving anime. And you know what's funny? To this day, I cannot remember the names or the faces of those who tried to take me down for hating, or for loving anime. But the ones who encouraged me, the ones who told me I may not understand it, but it makes me so happy to see you happy about it, and you essentially nerding out and telling me about it. Those ones, I still remember their names to this day. And y'all know who you are. If y'all are watching, thank y'all. Get rid of people who want to just constantly tell you or bring you down about what you love and collect. Some will tell you to just sell it. Some will tell you get rid of it. Put your money to something better. Don't. It does it because that is your escape. That is your comfort zone. Why would you want to take your room where you spend the majority of your day and conform it to what someone else would want you to believe, or conform it to something they want you to believe? It is the same with your mind. Why would you want to change your mind because someone said it's weird, or it's not right, or it's just not what the world needs right now? Do not change your belief structure. As long as it's not hurting anyone, then you need to go ahead and keep what you love to yourself always, and you will find the right people who will go ahead, who you can share it with, and they will go ahead and love you for it. Do not ever conform. Do not ever change yourself unless it's absolutely damaging you. And you will know if it is. There will always be that voice telling you this is wrong, this is right. And in that moment for me personally, hearing all that stuff about you need to stop collecting games, Pokemon, and anime, there was that little voice still inside me in the brokenness saying, be yourself. I want to end with this. Real quick. And forgive me if it sounds a little preachy, but I want to be honest with you. I believe that as the Lord of Heaven's armies was creating the earth and creating man, he already knew us before we were essentially in the womb. And he said, you know what this world is missing? It's missing you. It's missing him. It's missing her. The world will not be complete without you in it. Everyone's here for a purpose. Everyone is here for a reason. And if you feel like you can't find that reason, search hard for it. I tell you this because you're here for a reason. And it may be something you need to hear right now. Don't change yourself to what other people say. And do not ever think you're not worth it. I may not know you, but I believe genuinely if you're still listening to this, you're very much worth it. Alright? I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some sort of comfort. Thank you all for watching this, guys. God bless y'all. G-bye.